Hi, good evening everybody, and thank you for joining us on tonight's webinar, the Summer Campaign 2019. My name is Paul Upex from the Training and Development team. I've worked up here at Labour Party head office for the past 8 years and have been involved with campaigning. I've been a local councillor for the best part of over 25 years now as well. So I'm really excited to be presenting tonight's webinar with so many of you. I'm also joined by my colleague Stephen, who I'm going to ask to introduce himself as well.
Oh, excellent. Well, hello everyone, and thanks for joining this session. My name is Stephen Patterson, and I'm one of the campaign officers here at the Labour Party. I work specifically on campaign materials and have worked closely with the campaigns unit to pull together our summer campaign. So it's great to be here to talk through the summer campaign and how you can make it happen locally in your CLP.
So before we sort of kick off tonight, just a few little pointers people should know. It should last about 45 minutes. Please ask questions using the chat mechanism on the right hand side of your screen that a few of you have already started doing, just introducing yourself. That's great. Please use that to talk to each other, ask us questions. We hope we will try and ask all of the questions tonight, but if we do miss them, that's just one of those things that will happen as well. There will be a recording of the session tonight, and that will be available on our webinar library, where there'll be a link there at the bottom of the screens. I will also be sending a PDF of the slides to everyone, just in case you miss it, with all of the links as well that you'll need for tonight's session as well. So as I said there, it should be about 45 minutes, but obviously it depends on how many questions we ask as well, and we will try to answer as many as possible during tonight's session as well. So someone's just asked there how many people are on. At the present moment there is 150 people on tonight's session as well. Hopefully more will join us as well, so that would be great. So thank you for joining us as well. What we're going to cover tonight is we're going to look at the political context of the campaign in the summer, where we are. There's a lot happening day to day, week to week as well. We are going to put some pledges, talk you through some of the pledges that have been made that are out there now that you can actually campaign on. They're using them in your leaflets, on the doorstep, and your digital campaigning. We're going to share with you some of the tips for organising your campaigns as well, and also let you know about and direct you towards some of those resources and materials that are there available for everyone as well. Okay?
That sounds great. Well, let's jump straight in and introduce our summer campaign and have a look at some of the political context. And so it is impossible really to ignore that this summer could be the start of the long campaign towards an autumn general election. General election now, as you might have seen us demand. And it is vital, therefore, that we take this opportunity to campaign in all of our local communities and engage with voters about the issues facing our country. So our summer campaign is centred around Labour's summer campaign pledges. And our pledges are some of the biggest policies that illustrate how Labour would do things differently. Unlike the Tories, we would run our country in the interest of the many rather than the privileged few.
So the aim of the campaign is actually for us to engage with local residents about the issues in their community and in the country. We can't separate those issues that are important to local people outside of the national context as well. And the pack will actually help you and sort of move you towards actually taking some of those big local issues and actually how we can speak to people on the doorstep and make them relevant to them as well. The overall aim of the campaign is to talk about that national crisis caused by the Tory chaos and incompetence that we believe has now been made worse by Boris Johnson as Prime Minister as well. The other context of the side of the campaign is actually that we want to deliver Labour's message: we can and will change our country, so it's run for the many, not the few. Building on that manifesto that we put together in 2017, getting it out there to more people as well, not being caught on the hop by a snap general election like the last time, but actually we're out campaigning over the summer, asking, I think as Stephen said, that general election now as well. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking at it, a little bit confused what's just going on the side of the screen as well. And also, as part of that campaign, we want as many people as possible to be involved in our local campaigns, our local Labour Party as well. That might be someone who may be a regular attender, a regular campaigner. It could be that you're a councillor, an activist, or you've never been involved before. You might have just joined in the last few months. What we do have in the Labour Party with over 500,000 members is the power of our people and our members to get out there on the doorstep and talk to as many people as possible, and taking them to direct, so they're not just reading about what's in the local newspapers. We can get out people, get on the doorstep and speak to voters about the issues that they care about, both locally and nationally as well.
Great. So building on our aims of the campaign and the initial political context, so ultimately you can't trust Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson represents the interests of the wealthy elite and is out of touch with the reality facing us. Boris Johnson cannot be trusted and breaks promises after promise. Boris Johnson is dangerously incompetent. He only cares about himself. The difference between the Labour Party and the Conservatives is simple. Labour is the party for the many, the Conservatives are for the few. The Conservatives are in the pocket of big donors and big business, including millionaire bankers, media barons and corporate lobbyists. Labour is a movement of millions that can't be bought off, and that's where you can come in. Labour has the strength to stand up to the wealthy and powerful few, which is why we are so relentlessly attacked. We have forced them to pay for their fair share of taxes and stop ripping us off, so we can change the country and deliver world-class universal services. We aren't afraid to intervene in the economy to tackle the climate crisis and create good jobs right across the country. So Labour is for the many, not the few. The difference between Labour and the Conservatives couldn't be clearer. Labour is the party for the many, the Conservatives are for the few. The Conservatives are in the pocket of big donors and big newness, including millionaire bankers, media barons and corporate lobbyists. Labour is a movement of millions that can't be bought off. Labour has the strength to stand up to the wealthy and powerful few, which is why we are so relentlessly attacked. We will force them to pay their fair share of taxes and stop ripping them off so we can change the country and deliver those world-class services. We aren't afraid to intervene in the economy to tackle the climate crisis and create the jobs that we need right across the country. That is Labour's message.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen, for that. And so the next bit is actually we're going to tell you a little bit first of all, start by is how to download the summer campaign pack as well. So the summer campaign pack, we're going to go through it now. That's where you can download your copy for it. You can go to your local branch, you can go to your CLP with it. Make sure that everyone is having a read of it. Actually taking on some of the actions that are there, sharing those messages, put them together with some of your local resources as well. There's just a quick couple of questions now. While I leave that on screen, I just wanted to answer. Right. Okay, Linda, we'll get just want some specifics. That will come into that a little bit later, and you'll find some more specifics and the details of some of those policies in the summer campaign pack once you download them at labour.org.uk/campaign hub as well. Okay. Yes, Johnson doesn't command a realist majority. There's a good chance of a general election. I think that's a very good chance. Everyone here within the Labour Party is preparing, and I think, as Stephen said, are actually asking and demanding that general election happens. At some point, possibly in October or November this year as well. So what we want to do is to be ready, not wait until he decides to do that. We're out campaigning over the summer, speaking to people, not just waiting for the Tories to call for when that campaign starts as well. Mark is just asking about some free resources that you might have got in the past. If you email me the specifics about your CLP, where your details, if you email training@labour.org.uk for my attention, and I'll get a chance to have a look at it. Probably won't be this week because I'm actually on holiday for the rest of this week. But sure, there's other people in the team who have a look at that as well. And I just think there's anything else there. Anything else, Stephen, that we might have missed?
But looking, I don't think there is. I think you've covered them well. But like on the questions about how likely is a general election, I mean, we really don't know. But it's impossible to ignore that there could well be one. So that's why this summer campaign is so important. We can't afford to to all go on our summer holidays. We need to be out there campaigning, ready for that general election whenever it comes.
Yeah.
So hopefully the next steps in this webinar will build on it. But is there a couple more questions, Paul?
Stacey, Hannah says, what can we say is our Brexit position on the doorstep? As I said there, download the pack, and I think it's clear. This has been put together by Jeremy and his team, outlining what his and Labour's position is on Brexit as well. So that people who download it. There's no paper copies. If you need it, you may have to print that out or ask your CLP to print it out for you as well. And that goes into a lot more details about Labour's Brexit position going forward there as well.
We're shortly going to be taking a look at the pledges that are part of this campaign, and you will spot that one of the pledges is on the issue of Brexit, and they're in the pack. As Paul says, there is a detailed section on Labour's position. So have a look at the pack, but also we're going to cover that in more detail in just a moment.
Fair enough. Okay. Right, I'm going to crack on. There's a few more. We'll come back to those as well while we're just covering the next bit as well. We've had the questions bit there coming up. So, yes, as if by magic, Stephen, I think we're now over to you to highlight those 6 specific pledges that Jeremy's team have agreed to be part of this summer campaign as well.
Yes, absolutely. So our pledges are some of the biggest policies that illustrate how Labour would do things differently. As I've said already, unlike the Tories, Labour would run the country in the interest of the many rather than a privileged few. In England, our pledges are as follows, as you can see, 1 to 6, and we're just going to go through them quickly one by one. Starting with Pledge 1, which is increased funding for the NHS, with more nurses and doctors to give patients the care they need. Pledge number 2, Paul, I think you've got.
Yeah, that is that offer to a real living wage of £10 an hour and no increase in income tax or national insurance for 95% of people across the country as well. Back over to you, Stephen, I think it is.
Pledge 3, a green industrial revolution creating 400,000 jobs.
Back to me, I think it was on this one. Free school meals for all primary school children and reduced class sizes for all 5, 6 and 7-year-olds.
Yeah, Pledge 5 is keep the winter fuel allowance, free TV licence and bus passes for pensioners.
And finally, number 6, Brexit. A public vote on any Brexit deal. And Labour will campaign to remain against no deal or a bad Tory deal. And so before people do start writing in saying actually want more of the details, as I've said, they're all in the campaign pack. We're not going to go through all the details tonight and the minutiae of each of them. When you download the pack, it is in there as well. So yes, that's the 6, and that's them all together as well to be able to see that as well.
That campaign pack of all of the detail, labour.org.uk/campaign hub. For people in Scotland and Wales, we have again pledges for Scotland and Wales. Some of the pledges are slightly different because of devolution, and so you can take a look at those again by going to labour.org.uk/campaign hub and then finding your way to the Summer Campaign 2019 page and then selecting Labour's pledges, where you'll find all you need to know about England's pledges along with Scotland and Wales.
Okay, right, so I'm going to have a quick look at some of the questions. Okay, a bit there of, can we have an online questionnaire to members for their views on the EU? I want to remain. I can't give you any promises on that, but I think we can feed that back up to the team, Mary, as well, to see if there's any way that we can use digital other means to consult members with regards to their views as well. Obviously, we do have a conference coming up in Brighton this year as well in September. What else is there? How old are we calling a pensioner? 60 or 65? I don't know. I'm not calling them one particularly. I know some people who are over 60 or 61 who wouldn't want to be called a pensioner. And also, obviously, you look at pensioners that might increase. Under the Tories at the moment, you're not a pensioner until you're 67 or whenever you can claim your pension as well. So I don't know the answer to that one specifically with regards to those pledges, but we can, once we email it out to you, we'll get that find out that detail as well. Thank you, Rachel, for those kind words. Billy is asked about where's housing. We've gone for 6 pledges.
Well,
Stephen.
these are the 6 pledges that we've picked. These are obviously nothing here is new, if you like. They're all from existing pledges and policy announcements, so nothing has disappeared. But these are the 6 that Jeremy's team have gone with for our summer campaign. There's nothing wrong with still campaigning on issues such as housing, but these are currently the 6 pledges for our summer campaign. They are 6 of the best that show how Labour would do things differently. It doesn't mean that we wouldn't go ahead with our New Deal for housing, but these are just 6 that sort of show our true values to people, so they can sort of get the feeling of how Labour is a much friendly government that believes in Britain as opposed to the shambles that Boris Johnson presented.
I have actually seen also this week, I think there's a campaign package that's come out by John Healey as well, and obviously everything that was in the manifesto as well the last time around are our pledges with regards to housing, and I know John Healey's put together a paper as well, and I might be able to circulate that to people as well, or whether there's some links with regards to that, and that's to do with rent, controlling rent if possible, and register of landlords as well. So we can try and find that out, further information for you as well. Right, okay, I think I've had a quick look at some of the questions there. Some just comment. Thank you, Rachel. Right, someone's just said to us, John Healey's team are putting out a series of great housing messages over the next few weeks. If you look out at his social media, there will be a different message each week. So thank you for that, Rachel. That's really good. It's about this week is about social housing as well. Okay, yes, there will be some digital and viral and video content as well. If there's a snap general election, our teams are preparing all of that at the moment. Okay, I'm going to have a look through them as we do press on with tonight's session as well. Have the questions. So we're going to look at some of those top tips. For those of you who might be role holders within your CLP or want to get involved with campaigning, what I mentioned earlier is actually getting out there on the doorstep and talking to people about these issues that we've highlighted, the 6 pledges, and why it's important to speak to people face to face. People talk about a little bit about mainstream media not putting Labour's message across as much as we'd like to. So what we can do by using digital and by also getting out there and speaking to people face to face allows us to speak to them direct and listen to their concerns, actually then campaign and do something about those issues that they're telling us are important, feed them back up to Jeremy and the team as well. And if you haven't been outdoor knocking before, you might find it a little bit intimidating, but it's actually one of the best things that you can do to help your local Labour Party as well, to help get Labour MPs elected and councillors elected. Actually, and that starts that winning locally as well. Will actually it helps you take those next steps to getting Labour MPs in, to actually Labour winning the next general election and giving Jeremy the keys to number 10 as well. You don't need to be a policy expert to get out on the doorstep as well. You'll be buddied up with someone the first time you go as well, and that's why we have obviously these short little 6 pledges as well that you can remember on the doorstep as well, and you'll also have a leaflet with that information that you can give to people as well. And I think probably one of the things is, I mean, you'd agree, Stephen, with me as well, is that the hardest thing to do is probably knocking on your first door, and once you get over that, then it becomes a lot easier as well. It actually really allows you to sort of feel part of that team, making a difference to getting Labour elected as well. Just moving on as well. And just as a part of that, really good questions just come in. There are some safeguarding guidelines as well. I just wanted to highlight to see there, achieve.labour.org.uk. We do have a door knocking session, which is on our e-learning platform. That's a really good course there. It's only probably about 10 or 15 minutes, and you can listen to it in your own time as well. And we have some safety tips about your safety is really important to us as members of the Labour Party. There's some top tips, some advice, and what to expect if you haven't been out door knocking before as well. So that's at achieve.labour.org.uk. Just wanted to remind for those people who joined us a little bit late, we will be sending a recording of a link for the recording of tonight's session to everyone, and a PDF of all of the slides, which will have obviously the links that you can use for some of the information that we've talked about in tonight's session as well. So I really would encourage you, if you find out, go onto the events tool, events.labour.org.uk, find out the nearest campaign session that's taking place to you this weekend or next weekend. Don't wait until the Tories have called that general election as well.
Yeah.
And some really good tips from people on coming up online as well about, don't take a spoon with you to put leaflets through the door, and make sure you do always shut the gate as well. So thanks to everyone for sharing that as well.
So for more information about knocking on doors and why we go door knocking and how you can get involved with it, do obviously have a look at achieve.labour.org.uk, and there's also a really handy guidebook called the Campaigner's Handbook that you can download from labour.org.uk/training, and here it's got more tips on basically how to organise sort of face-to-face door knocking sessions. So achieve.labour.org.uk and labour.org.uk/training to have a look at the handbook are well worth checking out for next steps on basically face-to-face campaigning and organising door knocking sessions.
Linda, Steve,
sorry.
just interrupt you. There's a really good question there who's just coming from Linda, who's disabled and she can't doorstep, and asking what she can do. Phone banking, you can call anywhere in the country and support Labour. You can actually call for the Brecon by-election taking place this week. If you use dialogue.labour.org.uk off the top of my head, and that's a really good tool that you can actually use it as a training video if you've never done it before, and you can actually talk to people within your local area and nationally, and they're sort of pre-filtered for important voters who we need to speak to, and we can ask them who they voted for the last time, what issues are important to them as well. You can also use if you've got on social media to like and share, and I think a little bit further on in the presentation we're going to cover digital resources that are available as well. So there's a chance for everyone to be involved at every stage of the campaign as well. But really, thanks a lot for that question as well.
So moving on with top tips for campaigning this summer. You need to integrate your offline and your online campaigns. In English, digital campaigning. Campaigning using digital must be an integral part of every local campaign. We can no longer afford to just treat digital as a separate afterthought, that additional add-on, if you like. You can use digital campaigns to fill two distinct roles, mainly mobilising your members and also sharing Labour's campaign messages with voters. And so repeating our key messages in a joined-up way to the same voters face-to-face through print and online makes it much more likely that our campaigns will cut through to voters that we need to win and win over to win the next general election. If you think about it, if you go door knocking, you speak to those people on the doorstep, what we're saying is they get the leaflet, they get the face-to-face conversation. We also need to be sending the same messages to those voters online, so they see them on Facebook, so they see them on Twitter, and they see those messages on our websites too. And making this happen in your community really is as simple as organising your campaign so that voters do receive that personalised direct mail or that leaflet through the door. They see a targeted Facebook advert in their social media newsfeed, and then they get that conversation from a Labour activist face-to-face on the doorstep, or perhaps at one of our sort of community organising events. And so there are a number of ways that digital can sort of help you cut through and to break out and make a difference and to get our summer campaign messages to voters. And basically what we need you to do is organise everything that you do face-to-face and offline and bring it online too, and then take it back offline so that it's fully integrated and joined up. For more information about campaigning online and digital campaigning, you can have a look at our digital campaigning guidebook, which can be downloaded at labour.org.uk/training. Here you'll find all the tips on how to basically do offline and online campaigning in a joined up way. Top tips on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and also some guidance on how to create some campaign videos too. And don't forget, we've got our digital channels. Labour is on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and more, including YouTube. You can follow us on all of those and share our content onto your local party social media sites. So that's digital campaigning.
So just a quick couple of other questions have come in as well, I think, before we just hand back over to you, Steve, to cover the community organising part of tonight's session. Susan's asked about going through how to upload videos on Facebook, the digital part. That technical things we're not going to go through tonight, but as Stephen mentioned, there's the digital guide that I think will cover that. That is going to be in the process of being updated before party conference as well. And also there's a guide there, there's a new guide for using Promote, which is our platform for putting up digital advertising as well. That's been renewed as well as we speak as well. So have a look out for that, and there are some existing resources as well. Sue's just asked there, she's obviously in a very Farage supporting area, obviously had some bad experiences there in the run-up to the last general election. If that area that you live in is so, maybe pro-Tory or pro-Brexit or something, if you can, and you've got nearby some other areas that might be key areas that we might need to win, that might be marginal, that we need to take control over, or we need to hold on to, try and get involved with some of the local campaigns as well, and just leave the Brexit and the Tory people to fight it out amongst themselves as well. So yeah, sorry about those experiences. We don't send people on, never send people on lengthy canvas. I think an hour and a half, 2 hours should be the longest sessions. Go in groups so people don't be doing it by yourself as well. Dialogue is up and working. Please, if it's not, email me at training@labour.org.uk. Please don't use your own phone. You can use your own phone, but go through Dialogue. Because actually that is from GDPR is the best way to actually use it. It doesn't cost you anything as well. So use the Dialogue system as well for when you're doing voter contact over the telephone.
Yeah, the Dialogue tool's really cool. You just log into Dialogue and then it calls you and it makes the phone call, and then that's it. So it's absolutely free for you. No minutes used on your mobile or local telephones.
Could we get paper pledges? Does that mean you want them?
I think we're going to come on to the materials and resources later on, and the pledges are in print form, so hopefully that will cover that question.
Okay. Paul has comment there about leaflets problematic. I hate them, giant waste of paper. I think what I would say on that, where I'd push back a little bit, Paula, is to say, I think as Stephen mentioned, that we want to get our message across lots of different ways, and that could be face-to-face with everyone, it could be through direct mail, it could be through some leaflets, it could be through digital, it could be through telephone, and all of them together actually makes us reach as many people as possible with our key messages, and that's what's important. And those leaflets and direct mail help to re-emphasise that as well. So it's not saying one, it's, having a doorstep conversation with 50 odd million voters would be fantastic, but even with our huge membership, that's going to be difficult to do in 2 or 3 months as well. So it's getting that different amount of reach to as many people as possible, using different techniques in there as well.
And repeating the same messages, so that hopefully the voter, when you knock on their door for the 100th time, will tell you what our 6 pledges are.
Okay. I don't know what our campaign song would be this year, Matt. I don't know. We could try and find out. Okay, we're gonna just quickly move on.
The 2017 campaign song was "All Together Now" by The Farm, I believe.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember that. The first time round, I don't think you were you? Right. Done the digital guide. Done some questions. We're going to come back to them as well.
The digital guide is really helpful, though, for anyone that has got more sort of technical questions about creating videos and all of the digital team's top tips for how to run a Facebook media account for the Labour Party. So do have a look at the digital guide. But moving on, continuing on our top tips, I believe there's 4. Here's number 3. So we need to do the face-to-face conversations. We need to use digital campaigning. We also need to use community organising techniques. Community organising should be at the heart of every single summer campaign. And I'm sure you already do community organising without thinking about it, but it's worth putting it into that campaign plan and perhaps having a slightly more strategic view. So whether you organise large events with lots of people, arrange one-to-one conversations, or talk at a local Labour Party meeting, community organising is a useful tool to find out what matters to people and to build a people power movement all around us. So putting that into practice for our summer campaign, you could be organising to win a £10 living wage in your local fast food store. You could be building a new green industrial revolution campaign in your town. And they're just 2 ideas for community campaigns that you could run around some of Labour's summer campaign pledges. So do have a look at our pledges and do think about the people in your community. Have conversations, have one-to-ones, and basically see if you can organise some campaigns to get some wins in for the local community before that general election that might come in the autumn, so that you can get people on side, see Labour as the vehicle, the actual movement for change, and then hopefully get them more involved with the Labour Party so they can walk the streets and campaign for Labour to get Jeremy and the Labour Party in number 10. I make it sound so easy, I know. For more information, though, about community organising, for further help, what you can do is you can contact your regional digital community organiser via your regional or Scottish and Welsh Labour Party by contacting them at your regional or Scottish Welsh Labour Party offices. Phone numbers and the contact details are all online at their respective websites. You can also email communityorganising@labour.org.uk and one of our community organising team will get back to you. They pledge, if you like, it's a Labour pledge rather than one of our 6 pledges, but they pledge that if you can get more than 30 people together in your area, the community organising team will arrange a training session nearby to help you set up a community organising campaign. So it's well worth having a look at and getting in touch with them. So community organising at labour.org.uk. But take a look at all the guidance that's available. Have a look on our Labour website, labour.org.uk/training, and just think about how it fits in with face-to-face conversations, online campaigning, and in a moment we're going to be looking at how we can also fit in with building that movement and mobilising members and supporters.
Okay, just going to move on because I'm a bit conscious of the time there, and I think most people are answering the chat for me already as well, but we will go through the transcript and we will pick out some of those answers as well that we don't manage to come to and answer tonight. So yeah, I will do that. The next bit I want to look at is mobilising members and supporters to build a team, and I think it is really important that, you know, with our huge membership in lots of different places, I think, and also getting other people who are supporters involved as well is really important as well. But within our teams, we've got a lot of people who've got a lot of skills, who can get involved with the Labour Party. There's lots of things that need to be done in the run-up to a general election as well, to make sure that we have those leaflets that are ready, that we have those digital expertise as well that we can share with people as well. So one of the things that we need to try and do is actually, when we actually are communicating with our members, we need to make sure that the emails that we send out are actually really clear of why we want to get people involved. So if you're a CLP, if you're a role holder as well, asking people to come to a meeting to talk about the general election, don't put that invite at the bottom of something else after the minutes of the last meeting or all those other things that might be happening or any other business and stuff like that. Send out clear communications, actually have a briefing and we can use the packs, use some of the slides as well, actually locally saying what you need to do to win that general election as well. So go through that, engage people, invite them to come along to a meeting to say, we're going to launch our summer campaign as well. Get them involved. You might put out a drink or some food or something else for people as well to make sure that they are engaged as well. Make sure that we are sort of getting in touch with our members through the phone, or people bringing new members in as well. People actually might be quite excited to join the Labour Party because obviously they've just seen Boris Johnson become Prime Minister, so they might be very motivated to join the Labour Party as well. And by asking them and providing them with a link, or actually with a paper form even, they might be ready to get involved with the local Labour Party as well. Or after one of the sort of the volunteer meetings, make sure that we get people to pledge what actually they're going to do locally, what time they can give, and follow that up as well. Make sure we can do that. Make sure that we do follow up every pledge that people do give time as well. Make sure we do get in touch with them. There's nothing worse than sort of filling out a form saying you're prepared to do this, and then no one gets in touch with you as well. It's really important. Sometimes if you're a role holder as well, or you might be that you're a councillor or key activist, actually for someone who's new, organise a one-to-one training session, a one-to-one session with them. Find out a little bit about why that person has got involved with the Labour Party. I think it was mentioned earlier as well. Sometimes at meetings, I don't know about you, Stephen, but people don't ask what was it that made you join the Labour Party, what changes that you want to see in your local community, what time are you prepared to give up to actually help that change come about as well. Also, if you might live in a key area, make sure that actually you're in touch with your local other CLPs, as I mentioned earlier, which might be safer Tory seats or something like that, or a little bit more of a stretch to win. Make sure if you live in a key area that people know about your campaign and actually can get involved with it as well. Also, make sure that if you are organising a session, that there is training for people available as well. There is that expectation of how long, say to them how long this door knocking session would be as well. So people know how to plan their day. They might say, if you just say, come out door knocking at 11 o'clock, people might wonder, if they've never been before, is that going to take 4 or 5 or 6 hours? If you say, we're door knocking on Saturday morning, meet on the high street between 11 o'clock and we'll be knocking on doors between 11 o'clock and 12:30, followed by, we might be having a little bit of lunch and a cafe as well, or something else like that, which is obviously people can go to whether they want to or not as well. So that's some of the sort of key ideas about actually when we're trying to mobilise our members as well. And there's another resource that is available for people, which is our Download the Campaigners Handbook as well, which is at labour.org.uk/training. There's some really good ideas and some guides there about mobilising our members, getting involved as well. So, yeah, Stephen, anything else that came through on the chat that you wanted just to answer on that as well?
There's good conversations going on the chat with lots of sort of good ideas for mobilising members, so I encourage you all that are taking part to keep on reading those and sharing them. It's great. It's very inspirational to see. But the key thing I'd say before we move on to look at campaign resources and materials for CLPs is that the summer campaign is about building our movement and getting new members, and perhaps members that aren't necessarily new anymore but have been new for a while but they're not yet involved. Get them involved, get them ready for that general election. If it's only the same few coming out and campaigning, then make this summer campaign the moment where you do take on some of the ideas that Paul was just suggested there to build capacity and get new people in. Because if you just do it with the same people all the time, then these new members on these other activists are going to continue to be inactive. So this is a great opportunity to sort of go. The general election could only be a few months away. Come on, let's get involved, let's campaign, let's work together, let's be ready to win the Labour government that we know the country needs. So with that, let's, I think, jump to the materials and the resources that are available to make this happen on the ground. So campaign resources and materials for CLP. Lots of you have been asking questions about this.
Yeah.
So I think this will answer a lot of the questions that some of you raised earlier on. So to support local summer campaign activity, we have made the following resources and materials available to you. I'll start by flagging the campaign pack that we've mentioned a few times in this session. The campaign pack is available to download from labour.org.uk/campaign hub, and then finding your way to the Summer Campaign 2019 section. The Campaign Hub is the party's one-stop shop for all of your campaign resources and materials, so you'll find lots of other things available in this section, but crucially it does have the Summer Campaign Pack, where you'll be able to download the pack and print it out if you wish, and likewise you'll be able to view Labour's pledges for England, Scotland and Wales. You'll also be able to access some of the other resources and materials that I'm about to talk about. So that is the campaign pack. In terms of print, because I know this was a question, so we've got two items that are particularly useful. So item one is a pledge card. We've got 6 pledges, and so we have a pledge card, business card, sort of credit wallet, credit or debit card size that fits in your purses and wallets. So the National Pledge Card features Labour's pledges for the many, not the few. You can get them from the Labour shop now by going to shop.labour.org.uk, and you'll find it under the campaign section, and you'll find it under leaflets. So have a look at that. So we've got pledge cards. We've also got a pledge card leaflet. It again features Labour's pledges for the many, not the few. And it's available on shop.labour.org.uk alongside the pledge card. For the pledge card and the pledge card leaflet, we have versions for England, Scotland and Wales. You just need to simply select the version that you require. So in England, you'd select that you want the England version. And in Scotland, you'd select that you want the Scotland version. And in Wales, you'd select that you want the Wales version. You wouldn't select the Scottish version if you're in England. I'm being funny, I know. So they are the printed materials.
Moving on to the model copy.
Yeah, moving on. We have model copy. So again, in the Campaign Hub, if you go to labour.org.uk/campaign hub, find your way to Summer Campaign 2019. In the model copy section, you will find model copy for a direct mail letter that features Labour's pledges for the many, not the few. The idea is that you can lift the copy from the Campaign Hub and then personalise a direct mail and send it to voters in your area by using Labour Connects, connects.labour.org.uk, Labour's new digital media to print system. But if you go on the Campaign Hub, find your way to Summer Campaign 2019 and then proceed to select model copy, you'll find model copy for England, Scotland and Wales. So that's there for you.
Brilliant. I'm just going to take a quick question now, which is a good question. Someone's asking, do we give the cards out?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't just go and post them through people's willy-nilly through people's letterboxes. I'd first of all give them to our members who might be going out on the doorstep as well, just as a little thing that they can remind themselves what those 6 pledges are. And it might be you take a few of the leaflets with you rather than the smaller little business cards, because the leaflets are cheaper and you'll get more of them. Those leaflets, what you can use is to go out on the doorstep when you're speaking to voters or on a street stall. You might be able to use those. So the leaflets are better for street stalls and given to voters. Sometimes I think the cards are better to give to people who are fellow campaigners as well. So
I agree with what you say, but if I was organising this, I would be making sure that all of our activists definitely had a pledge card. They're great for referring to.
Yeah.
When you're talking to a voter face to face, give them the pledge card. Let them put it in their wallet, put it on their fridge. So when Labour in government, they can tick off that we've delivered these 6 things. So give them the pledge card. But Paul was right, the leaflet is better for posting through doors. The pledge card might get lost. But the pledge card is great. People really love it if you hand it to them face to face. But ideally, have all the materials and sort of use them as you see fit. So that's the pledge card, the pledge leaflet, the model copy. We've also got, and I know some of digital assets. So the digital assets are available to download too from the Campaign Hub, labour.org.uk/Campaign Hub, and find your way to Summer Campaign 2019 and select digital assets. Here you will find a video that you can download and share on your Facebook and Twitter channels, and this presents all of Labour's 6 pledges. You'll also find individual short video graphics that are for each of the individual 6 pledges that you can share on your channels too. So that's a great resource. It's available to download now. Likewise, you've seen these before, but we've got our social media channels, so you can follow us, the UK Labour Party, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram. The channels are on your screen now, but you obviously see them in the PDF when you receive this later, and you can share the pledges and the pledge videos as we post them. And throughout the summer campaign, right up until our annual conference, we will be continuing to talk about these 6 pledges. So as the campaign develops, new digital assets will probably be developed and be made available on the Campaign Hub, but you'll always see them first on the UK Labour digital channel, so check that out. And of course, Scottish Labour and Welsh Labour will be sharing content that's relevant to Scotland and Wales from their respective social media handles too. So in Scotland and Wales, you've not only just got the UK Labour account to look at, you can look at Scotland and Wales too.
Okay. Couple of quick questions there coming to you. Someone's saying the pledge cards are out of stock.
No, they're too popular. I'll take a look at that, but they'll be back in stock tomorrow morning, don't worry.
And someone's just saying, just looking at Julia looking on the Labour website, she can't find the Campaign Hub. Is this on the website or is it Facebook or something? We will include the link on it, but it's
labour.org.uk/Campaign Hub, and then follow the prompts to sign in.
Yeah, it's under the membership only area of the website as well, so make sure that you are logged in to that as well to be able to find these resources as well. We don't want to make it nice and easy for the Tories to find them as well, so obviously that's why we do put stuff in the members only section of the site. Okay, yes, 47. I thought we had said this session was going to last 45 minutes. Sorry if we've run over a little bit as well. We've answered as many questions I hope as you can. We will get this email out with the recording, and we will make a note of all of the points that are being raised within the chat today. We do hope, I know a couple of said something about that. We find the chat a really helpful addition for you to talk to each other, to share ideas during the session as well. So thank you for everyone who's been involved on that tonight as well. If you do want to get in touch with us at the training team, as I said, email us at training@labour.org.uk. If you want to have a look at some of the resources that we have, as well as the recordings, go to labour.org.uk/training. Or if you want to visit our e-learning platform, visit achieve.labour.org.uk as well. And as Stephen has mentioned quite a few times today, to find all your digital resources and also to the all of the campaign materials, visit labour.org.uk/campaign hub as well. And if you want to get in touch with our membership team, it's Labour membership@labour.org.uk.
It's all about repeating messages, Paul. We've said labour.org.uk/campaign hub 20 times. They'll probably be telling us what it is now.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. We hope that we've tried to answer everything tonight as well. What we also want to do is to say thank you for all the work and the effort that you put in across the country as volunteers of the Labour Party as well. The amount of effort and time as well, and it's fantastic everything that you do as well. So I want to just say good luck with all of your campaigning out there as well. We hopefully will see you out on the campaign trail, wherever you might be. We also might see a Labour Party conference if you're coming along to this as well. So good night. Thank you, and don't wait for a couple of weeks. Make sure you get out this weekend and play your part in returning that Labour government. So, thanks a lot, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye.
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 I'm going to go campaigning.